These were some of my most embarrassing cluttered spots in my hoarded house. So what was I hiding, and did I actually let it go? Hello everyone, and welcome back to A Hoarder's Heart. For today, we're going to be talking about my most embarrassing moments on video that you've seen on my decluttering journey. And most people with hoarding disorder are going to feel very embarrassed to show you their hoarded homes because we feel exposed when we show you what we're hiding behind closed doors. Because when we finally open that door and let you inside to see our home, you're not just seeing like messes and piles. You're seeing the literal physical manifestation of our anxiety, depression, ADHD, OCD, PTSD. Like, you're seeing literally everything in our life that's made us happy and that has made us sad. Because what we do is we hoard to self-soothe our nervous system. That level of embarrassment that you feel as a hoarder when someone outside sees all your stuff, it is equivalent to the feeling of being naked in public. Truly, that is how it feels. That's how you feel. You feel so extremely exposed and vulnerable, and you just don't know how everyone's going to react. That's why the first 2 years I created this channel, I hid my face. Like, I had the phone in front of my face, I had sunglasses or a mask. I somehow hid my actual identity because I just couldn't process the judgment from everybody else, because their judgment pretty much would validate the judgment I had within myself, knowing that I didn't want to hoard, but for some reason it was just so self-soothing and it made me feel safe, and I enjoyed the clutter but knew it was wrong because society had told me so, and I just didn't know how to actually explain the mental disorder of hoarding. It wasn't until the year 2020 that I finally decided that, you know what, I feel confident enough to show my identity. I feel confident enough because I have so many of you that were cheering me on for those 2 years that I could finally get over the hurdle, accept myself for who I was, someone that struggled with this mental disorder and messes and piles. And it just gave me the confidence that I was like, yes, I want to be the face for every single person who struggles with this disorder. Let them know that it is okay. I know you're going to feel embarrassed. I know it's a tough road to navigate, but let me tell you, when you do it in baby steps, it is the greatest feeling in the whole world. You can get over this. We just have to get over the embarrassment of it. So now let's start with, what were some of my top embarrassing moments that were recorded on film? Well, the first one that I'm going to talk about was the one that was pretty recent, when we were in the basement doing the Christmas declutter and we were doing the Elf on the Shelf, and I had bags of each day of something for them to do. And when I was looking through everything, some of them were empty and some were not. And I remember reaching into one of the things, pulling out a piece of moldy bread, and I was so embarrassed, like, oh my gosh, how on earth is this still in here? I had no idea that there's a moldy piece of bread in my hand, and here I am holding it, looking at it like, what is this? Oh. And that moment, showing it on camera, as embarrassing as it was also my reality. It was also my truth. And I just wanted to show that to everyone, to be like, yep, that was sitting in a bag in a basement, just rotting away. And of course, we let that go so quickly. The next video that I was really embarrassed was the bathroom on the side of the laundry room, because that one was completely hoarded. That's considered level 5 hoarding. But that's not what embarrassed me. We had never used that bathroom, and it was pretty much used for storage. And to be honest, I'd rather it be a storage room. But I used to store and hide all the gifts for Christmas or gifts for somebody, some holiday that was coming up. And I used to store it in there, and that's what it was full of. Never forget somebody commenting, imagine getting a present from someone and they stored it in the bathroom. And I remember I just had this full-on like embarrassment moment. As a matter of fact, it embarrassed me so much, I think I actually deleted it. because I knew how embarrassed I was, and I did a lot of inner work, and I just didn't want to see someone else with hoarding disorder be like, see, that's why I hide, that's why I isolate, that's why I don't show anybody, because that's the exact judgment I'm going to get. Though the commenter was right, it just crushed me because it had never been used as a bathroom. I would never store actual gifts in an actual functioning bathroom that we use. And you guys know me, like my heart, I love giving gifts. So to think that love and caring into curating a gift to somebody is like just downplayed, like, oh, that's nasty, that's disgusting, she doesn't even care about you because she stores it in the bathroom. And I just remember being like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. And I thought, no, I can. I'll muster through. I'll still show it because so many of you guys were still supporting me. And yes, we were able to clear out that bathroom. Now, did some piles return? Yes. We will be getting back in there, but it was cleared out for a very long time. Third moment that embarrassed me was finding all that money in the closet. It was like $2,000 worth of cash. And I remember thinking like, oh my God, here it is. I had been searching everywhere for it, and I hid it because I didn't want that much cash sitting in my house when we were on vacation for a whole week. So I thought, aha, I'll hide it so that no one can steal it from me. But I hid it so well that I forgot where it was. I remember panicking trying to find it. What really embarrassed me was, again, a couple people commenting, putting me down like, wow, you don't respect your parents at all because you lost the money that they gave you for their carpeting and flooring. And that wasn't the case at all. I was very grateful for the money they gifted us so that we could have the new carpeting in the living room and in the kitchen. But they just hit a nerve, and it was just like, no, I don't feel like that at all. I'm very respectful, and it just embarrassed me. And it was a wonderful blessing, and we did clear out the closet back then, and then recently we redid it where now it's cleaned and organized, and I'm happy to say that that space is still very cleaned and organized and functioning. The next video up is going to be when we were first cleaning out the refrigerator, and there was so much moldy food in there, and I just felt like really mortified showing you guys that. But again, it was my truth because I didn't really have a routine where like at the end of the week I kind of cycle through the fridge and throw stuff out. No, I just let stuff pile and pile and pile. And if you're not keeping up with that and you kind of like reach your hand back and you open up and you see what's in the Tupperware and you're like, oh my God, there is rotting food and vegetables, and I think one thing was like a gravy thing. I mean, there was so much rotting food, and the reason why I was so embarrassed by it is because it makes you feel like a bad mother. Like, oh geez, like I have all this rotting food sitting in the fridge. God forbid my kids try to reach in and grab something. Thank God they were old enough to know that, oh, that doesn't look good, we're not going to eat it. But that's where that embarrassment stemmed from. And I was very grateful again that most people were very kind, and it said that most people have hidden rotten food in their refrigerators. You don't have to feel embarrassed. It is okay. And yes, I'm happy to say that we have been very good, either weekly or bi-weekly. I will make sure that I go in there making sure everything is good and throwing anything out that could be possibly rotting. Moving on to number 5. That one had a lot more shame tied up with the embarrassment. And that was the very first video I ever created. And that was showing you my youngest child's bedroom, which wasn't really a bedroom anymore. It was so hoarded with toys and things, and no child could possibly sleep in there, which was fine because then I showed you other room where they were sleeping, and that was pretty much kept properly where they could be in a bed, they were safe, there was no harm. But that's because that was the very first video I ever showed to the world, because that was me just being like, okay, I'm not going to be scared anymore. I'm going to step forward. I'm going to do this. I'm going to share this with everyone and the world while still hiding my face. That was embarrassing, because if there's one thing that I feel like I'm really good at, is that I'm really good at being a mom. For anyone to put me down or disgrace me or place a judgment that I am a horrible mother because their one bedroom was cluttered and filled, that would have just ripped my heart out. And last but not least, my most embarrassing video that I showed with all of my clutter, believe it or not, still has the most views on this channel, and that is the very first time I did the KonMari method on all my clothes. That was right when Marie Kondo just started becoming popular, because it was in like January 2019. I was still hiding my face. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just recording and just trying to do my best to create a YouTube channel. Now, the reason why I was so embarrassed, and I still don't go back to read any of the comments, was because I had so many people giving me positive feedback, and I had the other 50% giving me very negative, hateful comments. And at the time, I couldn't process those hateful ones. And it just validated that it was like, see, this is why people with hoarding disorder don't get help, because you get so much hateful comments and messages, and it's just kind of validating all that pain within yourself, and you don't know how to process it other than hoarding more stuff to self-soothe your nervous system. But I will say that I'm glad that it didn't stop me. And yes, half of the reason why it didn't stop me was because I hid my face, so no one could identify who I was. But in my heart and soul, I knew that I wasn't going to let this get in my way, because the people who were giving me the most judgmental messages and comments, I thought they're the ones who truly don't understand the mental disorder and are most likely hurt by people who do have the mental disorder. So if they understood the thought processes and the why, maybe they can start to have a little compassion as to why people do this, because it is, at its core, it's a mental disorder. Most people love cleared out spaces and decluttering. Back then, I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't like it at all. I had to recondition my whole self that empty spaces are safe, because as much as I wanted to clean out, deep down within myself, the piles and the messes made me feel so safe. That's the mental disorder part of it right there, the coding that I am safe, that my fortress is protecting me from all the evils of the world, because all of my stuff loves me because I humanized it. And I am really thankful that I never gave up. Even when I was inside just dying of embarrassment, I'm glad that I just used it as a way to get over the fear, because you've seen all of us cleaning, decluttering, letting go, encouraging. And if you feel embarrassed by your messes, I want you to know that it's okay, but you are truly your own worst critic on it. And that's why when you see a negative message, it's just mirroring that critic within yourself. And it's just validating that pain of feeling ashamed and alone and isolated. And I don't want you to feel like that. You are not alone in this journey. And trust me, if I can do this, someone who was a level 4 hoarder can overcome these barriers, overcome the embarrassment to continuously declutter. Guess what? You can do this too. You absolutely can clear out your space, whether you just want to clean up or you are a level 5 hoarder. And also let me know in the comment section below, what is your most embarrassing pile that you'd like to clean out, so that when you do clean it out, I want to make sure that we celebrate you, because I know that you can do this. And my hope and my prayer is that this video motivated and encouraged you to clean, declutter, and let something go in your home today too.